Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome to another episode of Mike's campaign of Sugoi Sauce. I am your host, Mike, the DM, aka Mike. We're missing one today, but we have most of our regular crew this evening. We have Jim, the gnome trinker, aka Babbage, there in your bottom left corner of the
Howdy.
screen. You've got the Furblog druid, Jeff, aka you. Very plainly saying hello there. And then Canadian Stormblessed, aka the High Elf Monk, Zach, fist pumping. We are minus a deacon, the Knowledge Cleric, this particular session, but that's okay because he tends to just wander off without telling anybody where he's going anyway, so it's perfectly in character for him to just wander off and not be around. So, as a result, we are doing what I'm calling episode 20.5, assuming was actually on 20 last time. Well, yeah, I may have messed that up, but moving on. When we were last dealing with.
He just texted me saying 9, even though I told him it was 8:30.
Well, if he joins, then my entire stream will get screwed up and we'll adjust accordingly. So, let's see. So when we last joined our Intrepid Heroes, they were on their way back to Quayle's house. I'm trying to remember, the two of you were split for reasons I can't exactly remember off the top of my head, honestly. So we've got Bessa de Bellarmont already there with you, and I remember Jim and Zach were headed there. I know you were all headed there basically to find out, like, okay, he's able to extract magical, like, powder. He's able to extract magical energy from weapons.
So I think Bellarmine misspoke, but due to his misspeak, I was excited because I heard that he could extract mana crystals. Or no, he could extract mana crystals from magic items.
Gotcha.
Was what I heard.
Okay. So do we? Okay. Do we know if I have audio and if I have anybody?
Yeah, you're solid on Twitch.
Cool. Okay. So with that, I mean, beyond that, you all were basically just in town recuperating, debating what you were going to be doing for. Why is that not doing what I want it to do? Okay. Is that not a... Okay, fine, we'll do that. So yeah, you were all in town basically resting, recovering from your adventures off in the cathedral off to the southwest, the Dead Watch. And then debating, basically trying to come up with a plan, as I recall, recuperating with the intent of going north into... basically to find another one of the mythal-related items that the journal, the Friends of Ella journal, had discussed in detail.
Yeah, I think there was talk of seeking out more materials or mana crystals from the mines.
Oh yes, okay, yeah. There was some discussion about this like northern cave just east of the bridge,
in the
just
Rushland.
north of Rushlands. So, but in the meantime, right. So when we last rejoined you, you were all headed back to Quail. So with that, I'm going to put all of you there. I'm trying to remember the name of your new paladin bot there, Babbage.
Paladid.
Paladid, yes. Hilarious.
I mean, he's in there as a PC character. You should be able to drag him out.
Okay, I'll have to find.
He's just right under me.
Beautiful.
No, that's him.
Why did that? I dragged Paladid. Well, anyway, what's that thing I can do with the later? So, as you're all approaching the apothecary, there's a sign out front that basically says closed until further notice, even though you two were like, even though the four of you were here like not 10, 15 minutes ago. And as you're walking up to the door, this gentleman here, who you may recognize, is the man the tiefling who, when you walked into his house, had like manifested a piano.
Yeah.
And it was when he was playing it, like literally like rainbows and like music, like musical notes were physically like coming off of it. and so he was his Doctor Him, basically like sort of the mayor of the town, walks up to the group of you and he goes, "Aha!
Oh,
Our
aha!
our fellow guests.
You.
Wonderful to catch you all in town for one. You tend to be running in and out of town fairly often. I was hoping to catch you catch you all a couple days earlier."
Well, it's a pleasure to be caught sometimes.
Well, you got us now.
I assume there's a reason you're excited to see us?
At this
Yeah,
point,
looking for us?
Bellarmine, seeing that the shore appears to be closed, I imagine he would like knock a couple times, and then seeing how
I do think he's en route, by the way.
Oh well, I will. I'm gonna.
Just FYI.
Well, I'll adjust accordingly when he gets here. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm going to assume he runs off after being frustrated that nobody's answering the door to go off and do something without telling anybody what he did. To which Dr. Him's like, "Wait, but okay." You know what? That works out actually. I only have 3 slots, so I'm
sorry, Slot?
So I need to ask the assistance of you 3. Seeing as how you're new to town, it's sort of a tradition that newcomers not only participate in some of the festivities that I'm sure Dolan had you do to sort of earn your keep at the local inn, whether it was through some form of entertainment. We have a performance this evening, and I'm afraid I'm in need of 3 actors.
Alrighty.
At this point, I'm just gonna look around like.
So you want us to go recruit some bandits, or what's the deal here?
Oh no!
Estimate the service.
You have to understand, it's a yearly tradition that we've had here in Harm's Way, to basically put on this same play. But we found that the more interesting renditions of it have been when people have brought their own interpretations to the roles. So it's almost the less you know of what you're going into, the better.
So it sounds like a little bit of improv.
To some extent, yes. In fact, pardon me a moment, and he pulls out like a pamphlet, like a small little script, and or a couple copies of it, and hands it to each of you. That should pop up.
I see.
I'm sure you've heard the story before, all of you. I mean, Jeff's character wouldn't, but the other 2 of you likely would recognize this particular storyline. Pardon me a moment. Where's my...
Okay, I gotcha.
Yes? What's up, kiddo? I'm being too loud? Alright, I'll try to calm it down. Thank you. It is, yes. Okay, thank you. What's that? Okay, good night.
Wait, who's Scrooge?
I just got to that part.
I thought his name was Curmudgeon.
Oh, did I miss Scrooge at one point? I was
Yeah.
taking Scrooge to see himself. Dang it, I missed one. I was trying to be really particular about that too.
Teeny Tom.
So the roles that I need each one of you to determine between the 3 of you is the ghosts.
Oh, I see.
Yes. So between the 3 of you, you can resolve how you want to go about it, how you want to do it. But basically, you have about... The performance is in 4 hours. And
4 hours? My goodness, we were on our way out.
Oh, I'm sure whatever it is you were doing can possibly hold off for a day. We have... you have to... This is a yearly tradition, you understand.
Sorry, do you understand the severity of some of the things we're dealing with?
I mean...
We're saving lives and solving mysteries. We're not just on a pleasure cruise.
I mean, I'm sure everybody needs a moment to relax. You understand, I'm sure. I mean, whatever. Honestly, you haven't. I've been kind of out of the loop on the adventures you've all been up to, and you have to understand, we've been living in these conditions for years. So I imagine if whatever it is that you're trying to solve and go about in the town, out across the island, wherever you've been meandering to, I honestly don't know. you can. I'm sure it can wait another day. Who could?
Well,
Besides, who wouldn't want a little levity from now and then?
if you say so. Sounds like we have no choice, boys.
We're being pressed.
See what
into
you
their-
mean.
So I will leave it up to the three of you how you want to go about it. I would like to find that deacon character. So if you'll excuse me, as he clots off, you see you can see he's very he's a very charismatic individual. He waves and says hello to every single person as he's walking through town. But like he basically chases north after. Do you know where he happens to hang out at times?
You talking about Bellarmine?
Yes, the old, the knowledge cleric.
I would just look for anywhere you keep private diaries of your daily events.
Places he's not supposed to be.
Sorry, I misspoke. Books, wherever there's books.
Like, oh, oh my! And on the private diary thing, he like takes off. Like takes off, heading back to his own house. Although he turns around and says, "Oh, one more important detail. I forget that you've never been here. It'll be at the amphitheater just south of town. Tally ho!"
Oh, we actually know where that is.
Oh, yes, we've been there.
And he trots off.
Well, tra-la-la. All right, gentlemen. Seems we have some divvying up to do.
What
G-
what happens if we
gentlemen?
just don't show up?
As Dr. Himiko's taking off to the north, Teg,
Oh, howdy,
you
Teg.
recognize the gnome who runs the supply warehouse. Mr. Babbage, is it?
Why, yes, Teg. How lovely of you to remember my name.
Yes, pleasantries. They're a thing.
I
could use-
love that her version of pleasantries is just saying pleasantries.
Yes, they're a thing.
Phenomenal.
You would probably be best to help me with setting up the... We've had some difficulties setting up the stage for the production this evening.
Ah. Well, now, finally something I can sink my teeth into. I've never been much of a thespian, but a carpenter, now that's my specialty.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you one of the people that's actually going to be playing in the doing the play? Like,
Well, you see, him just
Performance?
kind of volunteered the three of us to be the ghosts, but
oh,
we just got
Voluntold?
scripts now.
that'll be so exciting.
Yeah, that's the word I was going to use.
Ah. And we have an extra person hopping in. So, for those of us for those watching the stream, it's a deacon, and now my stream's all messed up. Hold on. Hopefully this is a simple fix.
You should be able to just switch scenes, yeah?
I would hope. Where's except all of my two names got messed up for some reason. Okay. Yeah, for some reason Deacon's name got switched to when I had Zach playing Watson, but anyway.
Oh, yeah. He's awesome.
Blessed.
My token isn't on the grid.
Hold on. Yeah, I pulled you off.
It is on the grid. It's right here.
It is now.
Oh,
It wasn't.
Oh, jeez. How do I fit this before? Give me a moment. Technical difficulties.
No problem.
Take your time.
Squeeze. Cool. Okay. Back to. Okay. So, Blessed Bellarmine, to get you caught up. As you recall, you were trying to figure out how Quail, the apothecary person, was able to extract magic from magic. Was able to extract some sort of essence from magical weapons. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, so we could have some. We could get another tattoo.
Right. Yes. So you could extract the magic to be used elsewhere in town to enhance your abilities further. I wasn't sure if you were coming, so I basically had when you got back to the store because you were all headed back there. Quail had put up a sign on the front of his door that said closed until further notice, even though it's like 9 in the morning. You pounded and pounded and pounded to try to get his attention, and he didn't answer, so I assumed you were going to go off and do some reading. But what has happened instead is, well, okay, so what I'm going to jump to you here for a minute to get you caught up. Do you remember a tiefling who, at a town hall, who was playing a piano that he had manifested out of magic? Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Okay. He's the town mayor. His name's Dr. Him. He comes running up to you. He says, "Oh, Mr. Deacon, sir, or Mr. Bellarmine, sir. Sorry, the Great. Is it? Yes. You have your official titles. What have you?
That's all correct.
Perfect. We were wondering. Oh, and as he's about to talk to you, Dolan comes walking up, whispers in his ear, and then walks out and walks back away. And Dr. Him goes, "Oh, well that, okay. I need to talk to your compatriots again." So, as I just told your friends, there is a annual tradition that we have here in Harm's Way, putting on a production. It turns out that 4 of my actors, I thought it was 3, turns out it was 4, had been unfortunately become unavailable to perform, and the performance is, of course, in roughly 4 hours. And I'm afraid I need someone to play ghosts. And oddly enough, actually no, 4 ghosts. I now need someone to play 4 ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you have, and he pulls out a pamphlet and hands it to you. I'm like, this is the story. I'm sure you've heard it before. It's a very common story that's traditional. It goes by several tales throughout the years. There is one. You'll forgive me. There is one typo in there. Mistake. Someone wrote the word Scrooge instead of curmudgeon at some point. I don't know what they were talking about. Clearly a mistake we should have edited earlier on in production. But yes, between you and your 3 compatriots, if you could, 4 of you, determine who's going to play the role of the 4 ghosts in the story, that would be most appreciated.
Do you want one person to play 4 ghosts?
No, between you and well, that would be spectacular. But
That's what you originally said.
is it? I have between the 4 of you, I would like each of you to play a single ghost. Who it is entirely up to you. We've seen the same play over and over and over again every year. It's just the one that we really have a script available to us. But we find that the more that people bring their own version to the story, the more ad-libbing that occurs, and the more entertainment there is to the crowd, the better. So, with that,
Got some strong FF9 vibes, man.
Wouldn't it be more advantageous for us to continue on this quest to collect the items that we're supposed to?
you and your compatriots operate very similarly, I must say. That's exactly what the Tinkerer was just telling me. But I can assure you, we, among the folks of Harm's Way, have been dealing with the conditions that exist on this floating island for years. So the solution, whatever it is you're trying to solve, I'm honestly not entirely sure what you've been doing running around the islands. Kind of surprised you're still alive, to be honest. But all of those, that can all wait for another day. I'm sure you all deserve a time for some recs, some realization, some levity, and frankly, I think your tab is up with the amount of entertainment you've already provided, so you're all due to entertain the group anyway. So, it's also tradition that the newest folks get thrown into the play, so I'm sure you'll do wonderfully. It's in about 4 hours in the amphitheater to the south. Best of luck to you. If you have any specific questions, you'll find me actually at the amphitheater. I need to go prepare the orchestra.
Hold on. What is the perk that results from this participation?
What? I'm sorry.
What results from the participation?
What results in participating in any form of art or music or theater, but pure adoration and joy and a raising of the spirits. Simply.
Yeah, for those that are so inclined.
Do those of the cloth not enjoy having entertainment on occasion?
Love to be entertained.
then you will be. I'm sure you'll be fantastic in this role. Toodaloo! And with that, he takes off.
And not the entertainer.
Not listening to you.
So where are the rest of the guys?
You are. They see you're. They're south of you. They're still basically in front of Quail's hut. Teg, the warehouse gnome, has is. You see her
I
having a
bet she
discussion
loves
with
being
River.
referred to as the warehouse now.
Hey guys, does this seem kind of lucrative to you?
Oh, there you are, Robert. You just took off earlier. I didn't know where you were headed.
Does this seem kind of crazy to you?
Crazy? No, they made it pretty clear this is like the only form of currency we have in the town is providing entertainment to everybody. I guess our tab's up.
Well, when I asked him what the perk was, he never said that there was a tab that we had to fulfill.
Well, that was probably assumed. I'm sure you remember when we first arrived, we had to sing into the spade and perform manner of entertainment in order to get our lodgings. I guess it only goes so far. Trust me, I
This is
tried
what I
to
have to
inform
do to
him that
get
we
my.
were saving lives and changing
What about
stories
all
out
the-
here, but he
What
seems to
about
think
all
his
the good work?
pageant's kind of important.
What about all the good work we've done getting all these items and also saving people?
I guess there's no exchange rate for good deeds.
So there's no place to hide out, huh?
Where are you going to go? We're in a floating island in the sky.
I don't know. There might be some place where you can hide out and pray.
I, for one, am pretty excited. This could be a lot of fun. Oh, but there's only room for 3 rolls.
Oh, okay. Then you guys take them.
Well, yeah, that's what him said. We were going to take the 3 ghosts.
All right. I won't argue with that.
Are you sure? I don't want to take your joy away.
No, that's fine.
I think you'd make.
What about the
I
fourth
think you'd make a
ghost?
fantastic ghost of the present.
No, go ahead. Do your thing.
Didn't-
All right,
didn't you
very
say
well
four
then.
ghosts?
Well, we're gonna head to. I guess where do you want to divvy this up and rehearse, gentlemen? Also, Teg, you were saying?
Oh yes. I mean, we'll take some of your assistance if you have some time to help set up the various different stages we'll need for the show. But if you need to prepare for the actual role itself, I totally understand.
Oh well, why don't I run stage manager and Bellarmine? You can take my part.
No, that's fine.
I mean, clearly they have need of my technical prowess. I've managed many a stage in my time. I've never been much of a on stage, front of the crowd thespian, as it were.
Yep, I'm not one of those either.
All right. Do you want to give a hand on the stage then?
I
Behind the
could,
scenes construction assistance?
I could raise and lower ropes.
Tig?
I suppose we could find something for you to do. I'll have to discuss that with Dr. Him, but I'm sure we'll figure something out. Come find me. Whatever you decide, come find me at the amphitheater. And she starts heading off.
Well, all right then. You, Canadin, I think it's time for us to figure out who's who.
If this is what it takes for me to keep my bed at the inn, fine.
Oh, come now, Canadin. You act like you've been strung up in a storm all night.
I feel like I barely survived it.
Description.
A little levity can't hurt. I, for one, will relish the break from our mundane activities of killing bad guys and saving lives and searching for treasure and discovering zombies and all sorts of nasty beasties and spiders.
Yeah, but they're probably increasing their power while we're playing around.
Well, him makes a good point. Our arrival here is new, but they've been surviving for years and years. It doesn't sound like there's any pressing matters.
Well, that's what he said, but none of them has come out to help us.
All the more reason for me to believe what he says. If they're not even capable of helping us on simple tasks, yet they've survived for years, then it can't be that much of a threat.
I personally I'm a little nervous about this whole thing, that there might be something else going on that underlies it all.
Well, it doesn't sound like there's a part for you anyway, so if you want to be a sour grape, that's fine by me.
I'm happy to raise and lower ropes and curtains as long as I can have my sword.
Very good, then. I guess you would find Tag at the amphitheater. The three of us need to figure out who's doing what part and get some character backstory.
I don't have any idea how to find the amphitheater.
Oh, we passed it on the way to town originally on our journey here. It's south of here. Remember the old stone outdoor amphitheater?
So it's not in the town. It's the one that we passed through.
Yes.
Just south
Wasn't
of
there
town, yes.
Wasn't there a lot of strange creatures and things out there?
I don't think that close to town there was any concern.
Yeah, it's been a while now, so I don't exactly remember.
Your characters recall that, I mean, you all explored the amphitheater, and all you really found was, like, chairs and evidence that it was used.
Well, let's see.
You,
Let me
Jeff,
take
I'll leave it up to you whether or not you think your character actually, like, even knows this story at all. Whether or not, like, some equivalent of it would have existed in the tribe or in the woods where you grew up.
No. No.
I love it. That'll be so much more fun. Jeff knowing A Christmas Carol, but you having no clue what it is. I am so looking forward to happening.
I'm reading it, and the only thing that sticks out to you is visions of his own death. It's like the only thing on that whole page that. So you points with his big paw. Says, "You will give future to the day, and terrify curmudgeon." Yes.
I was going to suggest that for you. I think that's a great part. Your stature is large. Your demeanor can be dark. You don't need a lot of words, but you can, get that intimidation factor. Hopefully you understand at least more than half of the words I just used.
I'm thinking of what's the Bill Murray movie where he plays Scrooge, right? Is it that one
Yes.
where the ghost of Christmas future is that big, scary, ominous cloud in chains?
Yeah.
I think. Or am I thinking of something else?
No, Bill Murray, Scrooged. You got it.
Yeah.
The Ghost of Christmas Future is typically like a Grim Reaper type.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean specifically that motif, like the big hulking.
Yep. I think that's a good part. As for past or present, past is all about taking Scrooge to see himself as an unhappy child, as a young man in love with money than his fiancée. These are like sad memories about how he's squandered his youth. Whereas present is all about showing Scrooge how, despite his curmudgeon, excuse me, I keep saying Scrooge because of this typo, showing the curmudgeon all about his despite his curmudgeonly attitude, those around him are able to forget about him and still enjoy the spirit of the season.
I get a distant look on my face. My past still haunts me.
So you definitely don't sound like someone you want to dive into the past. I'd like to see you bubble up with happy spirits, and you should be the present.
But my past.
Yeah, let's stop talking about your past. So why don't you talk to Curmudgeon about how happy everybody else is being?
Very well. It'll get me more food at the inn.
All right, I guess I will take on Christmas past. I mean, Giving Day past. I don't know what Christmas is.
Just made that one up.
I'm just making things up. Well, they said we should improvise.
I can explain it.
Yes. The knowledge cleric knows all the things.
Knowledge cleric knows all the details of this word I just conjured out of nothingness. All right, then.
Still waiting for, a whole bunch of retainers.
Yes, they are on their way, or they're trying their best.
If he stays here long enough, he may be able to recruit retainers from the townsfolk.
That's true. But you
That's
all
a
seem to
thing.
be in a hurry to actually get through the plan or get through the plot. So maybe this will be a thing that can build you some rapport to actually acquire some retainers there, Bellarmine.
I imagine his retainers have actually reached his location just
Directly below
Right.
him, they're
directly
just looking
below,
around.
and they're just incredibly confused as to
This is
where
the
he
spot on
is.
the map.
Just looking up. Where? Huh?
Like, there's just really big
Doing like an
clouds.
NPC thing, just walking in circles.
There's a shadow in the sky, and through it, I can somehow see a yellow exclamation point. I just can't get there.
All right.
That's great.
So,
All
sounds
right,
like
well,
you all have a plan.
So
Bellarmine, I think you should seek out Teg to offer your construction assistance, and the three of us should work on our parts.
Where's Tech? Where's Tech?
Teg is south to the amphitheater.
So yeah,
Right,
do you
well-
want to? Okay, hold on. We can. Well, is everybody going to
By
the
the way,
amphitheater, or?
Jim loves what just happened. Like that we're totally gonna have nobody playing a part. It's phenomenal to me. I can't wait to see how this plays out.
What do you mean nobody playing a part? You've got 3 people, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Three
The
people and 3
the
parts.
actions of the characters.
Yep. Everything is as it should be.
Okay. Do you all intend to just rehearse your parts?
Why don't you get the owl to play one of the parts?
That would be something. All right. Are you all just going to rehearse in front of Quail's shop?
No. We should have a little bit of a modicum of mystery about our performances. Let's find a nice quiet place to rehearse where no one will see us.
As Babbage is saying that, you kind of has his back turned and he's trying to imagine what he should do in this situation, and so you just kind of see him mumbling some. You know what you have done and where it will bring you. Oh.
Hey, easy, big fella. Save it for the stage.
The stage.
It dawns on me. Do you and your kind have any concept of performance or theater?
No, my good man. What do you think we druids do in our free time?
Well, I mean,
You are.
there may be some pageantry. I don't know. Storytelling with some sort of
Switching to his one-shot character for a second.
Yeah. Stories, yes, but stories take time to discuss amongst us druid. It's all in druidic speak. You would not understand.
Sure. Well, this is kind of the same, but you're going to be obviously speaking common instead of druidic speak. But you're going to not just tell the story. You're embodying the spirit of the character. You're playing a role, if you will. It's almost like a game where you take on the aspect of another entity and try to act as that entity would, not as you would, but as the ghost of Christmas future would, Giving Day future.
You's head is spinning like a top.
So meta.
All right. My goal is to play D&D in D&D at some point. It's like building Minecraft in a Minecraft computer built in Minecraft.
Makes total sense.
Anyway, does that make more sense? I think do you kind of get the point of what we're being asked to do here?
You will make it up.
Perfect. When in doubt, improvise. All right. I guess this is the entirety of the script, yeah?
Yeah, that's all you're getting.
Very good. I'm going to seek out him, as I have a question for him. And then simultaneously, I think it's good if we can find a nice, quiet rehearsal space. Cognin's basement comes to mind. We're generally left alone while we're there.
What's Cognan playing?
I assume an audience member?
the
I
Tinker
guess
is
we're
by the
supposed to.
sounds. Oh, sorry.
What's up?
No, I was gonna say we should head back to Cognin's place.
Ah, yeah, I was
Practice
just
our
thinking
role.
the same thing.
Okay, so you're all headed toward the Mage Tower, with the exception of Bellarmine, who chose to go help Teg. So, let's see if I can remember how to do this. Deacon, you end up. We're gonna jump to the Deacon here for a second. I don't have your there it is. So I'm not really. I'm just kind of just showing you where you go. So Bellarmine, you show up here at the top of this map. You do have two people that are basically manning the gates. You know. Ah, you've got not Quail. He's not actually there.
Yeah, he's hiding out.
Yes. Where's my? There we go. Lyco and Tiberius are currently on watch on top of the gate, and like, ah, will you be? What ho, the
Passing
brave
through,
adventurer.
going to the amphitheater.
This is Lyco. Oh, being. You've been swindled to help out with the performance, have you? I look forward to seeing you on stage.
You'll see me raising and lowering curtains.
Well, that's odd. I could have sworn Dr. Him mentioned that you would be one of the ghosts as he was coming through here to go to the stage himself.
Well, I could cast a ghost step spell.
That would be quite the form of entertainment. We haven't had access to magic in all of the previous times that we've actually done this performance, so I look forward to what your group comes up with.
All right, don't tell anybody. I may do that to one of the.
Oops. Oh, very good. And he opens the gate for you. And you end up at the amphitheater. I should have realized that you would all get here early. You're in the top right. You don't see nearly this many people yet. Hold on.
Where's the person I'm supposed to talk to?
You are. Do you know who you're looking for?
Tag.
Tag. Yes. We'll put you three up here for now.
Does the amphitheater have good acoustics?
As you're walking down, yes, you hear good acoustics.
Tag, where are you?
Where? Hold on. Oh, I don't think I had her on this map. Give me one moment.
I'm all the way down here for nothing. I'm heading back.
She's there. I just need to grab her token. Hold on. Oh, her and her. I forgot. She's got her globe that follows her around everywhere. Yes. So back here, you see. So you've got the amphitheater itself, and yes, as you yelled out Teg's name, your voice you feel like reverberate against the back walls, and it does seem to actually project out onto the amphitheater. Grimbeard. Yes, exactly. So Gentle Him is actually out front setting up what looks like chairs and like music stands, with the help of Grimbeard, who is helping with one hand while at the same time like looking over some papers. It looks like, trying to sort of like helping, but also like looking through some documentation. Dolan's up here, also looking through what looks like a pile of papers, reading intently and sort of like walking back and forth across the stage. Tag is in the back, and you see what look like four different like walled scenes, if you will. One that looks like it's just sort of it almost looks like it's a mock-up of sort of like a backdrop of Harm's Way. One that looks like it's sort of like the jovial-looking scene. One that looks like it's a graveyard, and one that looks like you're inside a small home. And Tag is in the process. Although the one that looks like it's in a small home looks like it's only about half done, and she's desperately trying to like nail some boards and like throw up some construction paper and like she's working on what looks like is supposed to be the beginnings of a fireplace.
So I say, how can I help?
Can you are you good with artwork? Can you paint
I
some?
can.
Can you paint a stone wall up here above me or
I can
for
paint
you.
it. What color do you want it? Gray.
Just a stone hearth would do just fine.
So I begin to paint. Where am I at?
I mean, you're next to Teg at this point. If you could roll, what would this be?
Let me see. There's a bunch of tools we might have to choose from. Possibly carpenter's tools.
Well, what does Bellarmine have? Is the better question.
Chainmail, shield, elms,
Oh,
box.
there is a painter's supplies tool. I assume if she's saying paint something, she's got the tools for it.
Okay, so what I would like you, Bellarmine, to do is, I want you to roll.
Painter's supplies I have listed as dexterity.
Okay, so I want you to roll a sleight of hand and a history, because you know how I mean, you're a knowledge cleric. You understand how the internals of a house work. You've just never had to put it down onto paper before. Like you've written, but never in an artsy fashion. So, I mean, you're right. So that is perfect.
Knows exactly what it looks like.
So you have an exact replica of a very specific fireplace that you know existed in some castles or in some small famous home somewhere that you studied, that you've seen pictures of in books. But your attempt to get it onto the wall looks like a kid's barely keeping colors inside the lines.
Well, those are supposed to be stockings hanging on the fireplace.
To which Teg's like, oh, that's is that a tradition where you're from? Giant socks in front of fireplaces?
It sure is. It sure is.
Um,
It gets filled with goodies.
for who?
For all the kids in the home.
Oh, so instead of having it's just a different place to store your presents. You put them in giant socks.
No, they're not giant. They're very small. That way we don't have to spend much money buying things.
Are
Oh,
they?
human-sized sock. That's fair. Okay. Excellent. Why don't you?
And if you put a big orange or a grapefruit at the toe, you don't have much space left to fill up.
Right. Yes, clearly you'll have to. Yeah. If you could. Okay, so artsiness maybe not. Why don't you go see what Dr. Him can do? Maybe you can help him, and she takes the art supplies gently out of your hands. And with that, I'm going to pause on you, and we will move back to the Mage Tower.
Yes.
Compatriots are all in Kanadin's in Cognan's basement.
All right. So, gentlemen, does anybody want to talk about what we're going to do? Do you want to keep it to yourselves? Yeah, feel free to use my workshop space if you'd like. I can make a clearing. Also, it sounds like we get some free reign in terms of how we want to costume ourselves and maybe special effects.
Yes,
As he's saying this,
Sure.
I'm gonna start looking around for.
I'm happy to prop master anything you need.
Just as a ghost, how should we present ourselves as a ghost?
Well, I haven't seen any specific ghosts in my time, but I think the idea.
You saw some walking around the basement.
Oh, that's true. We just saw some ghosts.
You saw some other haunting-looking ones that were basically monks, like the spirits of monks that were still lingering.
The spirits
in
of
Deadwatch.
monks. I think
Can
those
you make
ghosts
me
we
look
saw
like Oka?
would be great for the ghost of the past. Ghost of the present, traditionally, and whenever I've seen the play, has always been a large, jovial, jolly sort of in the moment type character.
I don't do jovial well.
Yes, but I think given the option, we really should lean that direction for your particular character. I think that's much better than the flashbacks where
I try to
trying
smile.
witness.
Can I ask a technical question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Can I change one of the spells that are being prepared?
Yes. Yeah. If you have, I mean, yeah. I mean, from one that you have on your list to another, sure.
Sure.
You know, and acting should be challenging. You don't want to just play yourself. That's how you get typecast. You should really try to work out of the box.
And Zach has disappeared.
I see, yes, but I don't. I
Unless,
don't know how.
unless of course, we
Come here.
prefer you to
I
be
can still hear you if you're talking.
the jovial in the moment type, and maybe Kanadin wants to be the visions of death.
I'm already looking around for anything I can think of to look ghostly and fatal. So I see a
Well,
net on a shark. I
Well,
don't know if that's
let me tell
actually
you actually what you see, because I think I have that listed somewhere.
So don't pay attention to any of the graphic images that are there.
Correct.
Yeah, I came up
have
with an actual list of things in this basic.
Yeah, I
game,
have it
but-
written. I just gotta find it. There's an axe handle, a fake skull,
Found it, okay.
a single glove with 6 fingers, a feather duster missing a bunch of feathers, an abacus with remaining beads but some broken runners, a bucket with a hole in it, a small box with some fishing weights. Actually, some of those are gone. Bag of broken glass, a shred of a map with just a compass rose, jar of some buttons, perfectly fine boots. They're just green. Bag of bent and rusty caltrops, painting a canvas on a wood frame with a hole through the middle, 2 wooden practice swords, broken sculpture of a horse, maybe it was a centaur. There is a big fishing net, a bunch of chairs, some barrel-sized barrels, small oak barrels, a coffin, a carpet, some ceramic pots, an urn.
Oh, thank you.
I think I showed.
Oh,
it
you just give him the doc? Yeah, that's much better than me reading all of it.
Yeah, and having to like,
Thanks.
keep track of it all. Yeah.
So, I think I've got some ideas on how I'm going to play my part. If memory serves, from when I've seen the show, when your ghost arrives in Curmudgeon's home, there should be some sort of pomp and circumstance to mark your arrival in relationship to your character. And then we spirit away Curmudgeon onto his different journeys of visions. And I've got some ways to, I think, make that a little exciting.
Yes, but as I should look the part, you want to be jolly, right? You said jolly.
Yeah, typically. I mean, you're free to interpret the character as you wish, of course. I don't want to typecast you into your own role, but just historically speaking.
I will attempt jolly. I pick up the lime green boots.
Yes.
Perfect.
Is this jolly?
See,
Oh, yeah, those
I'm
are
gonna-
bright and fun.
I'm gonna pick up the fishing net.
Very good.
Alrighty.
The soap, is it flaky or I kind of want to go for a pale complexion appearance thing.
There's a lot of lye in it, so it stings.
Oh, even better. That'll add to the dramatic effect.
Yes.
Disfiguring you
It
horribly.
it is the color you need it to be.
I could also, I could take those ceramic plates and pretty quickly pulverize them into a chalky powder.
Oh, you would do such a thing.
Oh, sure.
Yes. The ceramic plates.
All right, I'll mortar and pestle up those plates into a bucket of chalky powder.
You and Paladin is happy to help with that.
I'm also going to take the canvas, the painting canvas on the wood frame.
Okay.
It's just the canvas itself, right? There's no painting on it, right?
Correct. Yes. It is a yeah.
Okay.
It's a white framed canvas with nothing on it, in a hole.
Basically, what I want to do is wear that around my face or head. So So like the top of the canvas is here, the bottom's down here. Yeah.
I like it. The hole would probably have to be bigger, so like 1 foot. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but you could make that. That's easy to make
It's
happen.
the frame is 3 by 2 feet. It's not a small thing.
Yeah.
So I'm wrapped up in the net. I'm gonna become very pale from the ceramic powder, and I'm wearing the frame. The fake
So
skull.
blue. So oh no, you got white powdered face and the white square. Okay, I like it. Yep, keep going.
Let's see. Ooh. Coffin.
Yes, there is a coffin.
Yep, there is a coffin.
I'm gonna. Oh, can I grab that?
Why not?
Well, I'm wondering if I have the strength to drag it around.
I think if anyone would, you would, right? You're a big guy.
I'm big, but I'm only strength 12. So.
Oh, fair.
Ooh, dead plant parts. As much as it pains me to see that Babbage collects pieces of dead trees like this that aren't even crafted into something, just kind of hanging around. And I tie all that into my fur. Yeah. In one hand, I'll have the skull, and the other hand, I'll be dragging the coffin under my arm on the stage.
Okay. You're planning on carrying the coffin.
Yes.
All right, so just so I have the full picture here, you are chalking your white face. You have a 3 by 2 foot square canvas over you. A 10 by 10 fishing net drawn back is, I'm assuming, some sort of cape with like around the face, so like you've got the net.
Poncho, yeah.
Right, so it's over your face, and you have a coffin somehow caught in all of that netting underneath your arm in one hand and the skull in the other. I just want to make sure I got the full picture here.
Phenomenal.
That's it.
Fantastic. Okay, we have.
I will.
And the dead twigs and leaves and everything.
Oh yes, the different pieces of dead plant all just like mangled in. That is a ghost of future. Yeah, that is a ghost of
So
Giving Day
good.
future.
So good.
All right, we got his ghost figured out.
Okay. So I have green boots.
You have bright lime green boots. Yes,
Perfectly fine boots.
perfectly fine.
Obnoxiously fine green boots.
Now, can I find like a large blanket somewhere? I mean, it doesn't say on the list, but I imagine there would be like a blanket somewhere.
I mean, you have come across blankets in town. I mean, you've got some
Yeah.
on the bed
There's
that
a-
you have. There's a
There's a
bed.
carpet.
Yeah, there's a carpet. There's there's
Yes.
you walk
Perfect.
past the bed whenever you go
This
up and down
green
the stairs.
carpet. This green carpet, the round one.
Well, it's a 5 by 10. You can't go by the image. You have to go by the
The
sheet.
list.
Oh, does
yeah.
it say it on there?
There's a stained
missed
5 by 10
stained
carpet.
5 by 10 carpet. Yes.
Green 5 by 10 tower. Okay, we're gonna call it that one over there.
Yes, sure. That could be your carpet.
Perfect. Yes. Okay. I will walk up to it and pull quickly and laterally to
Okay.
remove the carpet from underneath everything that's on top of it.
You clatter everything down. I think
Yeah,
I'm fairly
it's a big
confident
mess.
Babbage had organized it all, so not so organized anymore, but that's fine.
I
fold it in
don't
half
even
and-
care. I'm having so much fun, like making stuff for everybody. Like whatever, organizing things is part of the fun.
I drape it over me, a dirty, stained carpet,
Round carpet. Okay.
and then I will steal some of those dead plant parts from you
Yep.
to create a not a halo, not a tiara, like a
thorn
plant
crown?
Yes, there you go, perfect.
Or like a holly crown, kind of like.
Like a holly, yeah, like a holly
All right.
crown,
That is okay. Very good.
Let's see, and then didn't carry it. Fortune. Let me look that up.
I mean, this is your interpretation. You can make this whatever you want.
As I've seen this, I do believe this Ghost of Giving Day present carries a flaming brand. Yes, he does. So I will smash one of those chairs.
Okay.
Perhaps the pitch pine. That sounds like it would burn well. And then wrap the end in some cloth. Let's see if I have some cloth.
Aha. Okay.
I noticed there's a fake skull. Is there any real skulls around?
I mean, inside everybody's heads, but otherwise no.
No. That'd be a great prop. I could animate it.
Perfect. Burlap sacks. Excellent. I tear up a burlap sack and wrap it around one of the broken legs of the chair. Create a torch.
Do you got yourself a makeshift torch?
Do I have it? I think I have a torch.
I'm sure you probably have just a torch in your inventory.
Yeah,
but I mean, if you want to make this thing like fit the character, it's totally understandable. You make a makeshift one. That's fine.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go the roundabout way. I'm gonna make a torch. Yeah.
It's all a part of the character. You don't want to use your real
It's all
supplies
part
for
of
this.
it. Exactly.
All right, Babbage.
So,
I'm sorry. Actually, unless Canadian, you had anything else you wanted to add? I didn't mean to cut you off.
I pull my shirt down so you can see my hairy chest. That's about it.
Very good. Babbage.
I am going to take the leashes and collars and other leather straps.
Okay.
And the smallest of the plate chest pieces that are full of holes.
Right.
And I'm going to use those holes in those leashes to attach a bunch of straps to, like, hanging, like tassels almost.
Okay.
And then I'm going to fix on all those tassels all the goose down feathers from the burlap sacks. And I'm going to basically make, because I'm small, I should be able to make a full head-to-toe, essentially flowy, tassely gown, feather gown that I will be draped in.
Okay. As you're doing this, you're about halfway through doing it, and Paladid starts like wrapping his own little bits of leather on himself and like little bits of feather, and like so he's got his own like half like thing going. It's his more sort of like a kilt. He doesn't know how to like it's like halfway around his waist. He doesn't really know how to like attach.
Because he's like a sphere, yeah.
But he's got sort of like this almost kilt-looking feather down thing that he's going to be following you. And he just starts, trying to copy what you're doing and making it on himself.
I love it. Excuse me.
All right. Anything else that you three would like to do to prepare while you're down here?
Are there any candles down here? I didn't see any.
No, but you did see some up in the lab/kitchen space.
All right, I would like to create a traditional, like, Dickensian one-ring dish, like, walk through the house candelabra candle holder.
Okay. I mean, you have
put a candle in it.
I mean, I'm assuming that's trivial for you. Like,
yeah, it may be. But, I mean, you tell me. But yeah, I'd like to do that.
I mean, from some of the parts and pieces, you basically just can tinker your way into like.
And then once that's done, I'm going to craft and affix a flame and cold affect engine to this candelabra, with the intent of making a blue flame.
Interesting. Okay.
So it'll be self-lighting and burn indefinitely, as long as the affect engine is attached. But the cold will make the flame safe for the theater and also blue in color.
How are you affixing it to this candelabra of yours?
I mean, it's a power appliance. It's a thing that the Tinkerer can do.
Well, no, I understand like mechanically in the game.
Oh,
I'm trying
so
to, like, visualize.
mechanically, you got the ring and you've got the candelabra, and then there's the dish underneath.
Yep.
But if you were to flip it upside down, at the center of the plate underneath is a divot where the affect engines can fit inside.
Plug in. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Essentially, they're like batteries to the flashlight.
Very good. I like it. Okay. I'm gonna pause the three of you since you've got yourselves some costumes. We're gonna bring
Actually,
ourselves.
that is gonna cost me 10 gold. So they better appreciate
the effort I'm putting into this.
Yeah, it cost me 10 gold in materials to make those affect engines.
So, Bellarmine, back to you at the amphitheater. So Teg has just sent you to go, saying like maybe Dr. Him can provide you with some assistance.
How many people are going to be at this show in the audience?
I mean, most of the town tends to want to attend, and I'm sure everybody knows that we are going to have some new blood, which will be a nice change of pace. So I imagine most of the town.
Approximately, what is the count?
I'm sorry? Oh, the count? Oh, gosh. Let's say 20 to 30 people, probably?
So can I, do I need to prepare a spell ahead of time, or I can just, in this situation, I mean, there's not going to be any battling, so you can cast a spell over and over again, right?
I mean, you still only have a certain number of slots, but if it's a cantrip, yeah, you can cast it forever. You can cast it over and over and over again, and those other spells you can. You still have this limited number of slots available, but I mean, yeah, you can just whenever you choose to do so. It's not. I mean, I'll try to cycle through everybody just to take turns, if you will. But yeah, it's not like timed turns like in combat.
Well, who am I talking to over here?
You're still talking to Teg. I assume you're still talking to Teg, but Dr. Him is within earshot.
Whereabouts?
He is basically. You can imagine that basically right in front of the stage here is a small orchestra being set up, and like you actually see.
And what's his role in this?
Are you asking him that?
Well, I'm assuming I know, but I don't.
You know everything that he's told you so far.
Okay, what's your role in this?
The Great. Fantastic title for you, by the way. Wonderful branding. I really should get on top of something like that. Dr. Him the Great. But I suppose you've earned your title in some way, shape, or form. I digress. You, my gentle clerical friend, see before you not only the director, the producer, and the scriptwriter, but also the curmudgeon.
So I whisper in his ear so no one else hears.
Okay.
The following.
All right.
I'm going to create enough food and water for the audience. And I've got a couple of tricks up my sleeve to enhance the show with some magic.
Ooh, I mean, with that, he'll just like step back and like sort of like, ooh, you have some trick. I like, I think this will be the best version of this we've ever had. That sounds fantastic. And you're providing food for the group. That is wonderful. All while being one of the ghosts. That is an impressive role you have there, sir.
No. You got 3 other ghosts.
Well, yes, but we have 4 roles necessary because there's 4.
Yeah, but there's only 3 ghosts. There's only 3 ghosts.
No, there's 4. And he pulls out his instructions. You see here, there's past, present, future, and also Mr. Jack Barley here.
But that's not a ghost.
That's
the guy that's
right,
Barley.
the ghost of his old business partner.
So what role did the other guys have?
I mean, that was entirely left up to the 4 of you to determine. I imagine that if that's something you haven't figured out with, he kind of looks at his.
Well, the guys all thought there was just 3 ghosts.
Oh, well, the update that there was a 4th role was something that was only found out to me just as I was having the conversation with you, so I'm sure you can fill in whatever role that they haven't figured out for themselves, which I imagine, as it turns out, would be Mr. Jack Barley, as it turns out, because he was the latest role that went empty, so I'm sure you will do a wonderful job. Simply being a business partner of sorts for myself. I'm sure you and I will play off each other beautifully, especially with whatever magical effects you have going on. It'll be a fantastic show, I'm sure. Perhaps you should take some time to prepare your role, maybe get into costume a little bit, make yourself look more ghastly. I'm sure you've dealt with a lot of ghosts in your time. Creatures of undead and what have you. I can see the ideas are already percolating in your head. I will leave you to it, sir. I've got to make sure that all of the instruments are just so for the musical accompaniment that will be joining your show. So if you'll excuse me. And with that, he turns and basically goes back to preparing. There's a few more people from town come in. Some with instruments, like you see a bassoon show up. Julie, the red panda character, the tattooist, is like going back and forth from town, like setting up a whole drum kit. So him goes off to help her with that. Will you be doing what are you doing at this point, Bellarmine?
Not much, because that was a big surprise.
Fair.
I thought there was only 3. I was going to run the ropes and cast some spells, but hey, well. All right, I'm looking around for where I can hide.
I mean, if you're trying to generally hide, you've got options. I mean, there's this cave back here, which is basically like a large locker where all the chairs that were out are now gone. You have the woods. I mean, you got a lot of options if you're just trying to hide.
Well, I'm not hiding permanently, just enough so I don't get nailed with something else to do.
So you're just gonna hide in the cave and just kind of hang out until the performance starts? Is that the plan?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. I mean, when does Marley come into the thing?
I mean, so you have the plot summary. I will make sure you see it in front of you there. I mean, that's all he has given you.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Fair enough. With that, we'll go back to the group. We'll go back to the other 3 in the Mage Tower. So, you've got about an hour left. The 3 of you have successfully, between the 3 of you, sort of moving back and forth from town into the basement, and then it's taken a little bit of time to construct this, making sure that everything actually stays on to you with this very, very elaborate construction. Babbage is very quick to put together his outfit, but
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Any props in this cave?
Props? There do seem to be some chains on the ground you see in a corner. Some other would look like desks of a school desk kind of chairs. A couple of small tables. Is there anything specific you're looking for?
No, I was looking for chains.
Okay. You have found some chains. Yeah. So yeah, the other 3 back in Cogden's basement. Do you intend to do anything else to prepare?
I don't have any additional preparations required. My costume's in place.
Okay.
My performance is prepared.
My costume is prepared. I walk around and, you guys like my carpet? That's about it.
It's a lovely carpet.
Do I fit the part?
I'm staring down at your shoes.
These are my lime green shoes.
Oh, they're
what color is
perfect.
the carpet that I'm wearing?
It's perfectly fine.
Can it be green like that one in there? Okay, perfect. A completely clashing and not similar green, I would hope.
Yeah, no, there's not a single thing that's it doesn't even match the carpet. Maybe there's a speck of stain that might match, but otherwise no. And you kind of don't even want to know what the heck has made that kind of a green stain on your carpet. But
do I look friendly?
I guess that remains to be seen. You have the only people down there to judge that are standing next to you.
I think you look fantastic.
Oh, thank you. As you. Shall we go and head on over to see our stage?
I mean, I guess. Does anybody know what time the show starts?
I mean, you're told basically like 4 hours from when he started, when he talked.
Oh, very good. That's right. That's right. Yeah, I guess we should head over.
All right. Let's walk out the door.
All right. I will. You move over into harm's way, and then so the three of you in your costumes. Well, which way do you go? Let's ask that question. Do you go out left or right? I mean, the Cognate's basement door is down here, but it's up to you whether you want to go upstairs, take a leave, and come out the
If
west
it's
exit.
me, I would have just gone out the basement door.
Okay.
Yeah, the closest door to get outside. That makes the most sense to me.
Okay. I know how to use my computer. All right. So as you meander through town, you do notice that it's sort of the activity of it does seem a lot quieter than normal. You do notice some other folks starting to sort of like several people are all sort of moving their way toward the southern exit. Several folks coming out of the tavern. A few other people sort of meandering over. You get one or two kind of weird looks. One of the other, like a Loxodon that lives, like a Loxodon kind of like taps the shoulder of a gnome, points at the three of you, and he's like, yes! Clearly excited. As you make your way off to the amphitheater, and at this point, I'm just going to put everybody there. You move through the gate, but you make it there all the same. Give me a moment now to get everybody in position. Okay. Oh, I need a. Oop. Babbage makes his way backstage. I don't know why. Give me a second. P414D1D.
What is considered backstage?
Well, you can, I guess, the Babbage. I mean, there is a curtain that is running along these pillars over here, so you actually have a little bit of privacy back here. Same on the south side.
But where I'm at is behind the stage, right?
Yeah, you're almost in like a little locker room space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose I should draw some curtains here. Give me a moment. Curtain. Okay. So, and then there is an actual like background setup here that's setting. This appears to be setting the scene. Let's see, where did I put? Let's see, Dolan's back here, Teg's back here, Grimbeard's back here, and we've got. Who am I missing?
Actually, are all the people here?
So you got several people backstage.
Are all the people that are showing up as audience there?
Yes. Well, yeah. So at this point, yeah. So yeah, it looks. I mean, the crowd. There's a couple more people here than you can actually see. I'll try to just copy some folks here. Throw a little more people on the stage just to get a sense of like you do have a decent sized audience here.
So before anything gets started,
okay.
I walk out and I look around, do a little count, get an idea how many people there are.
You've got roughly 30 people at this point.
I cast create food and water.
Okay.
For all the people.
Yeah, make makes like 45 pounds of food, right?
30
Yeah.
feet within
Yeah.
range.
It's enough to sustain 15 humanoids for a day.
There's enough for snacks for a show.
And 45 people for pickings for sure.
And then I walk back and hype.
Okay, so
Get a large pile of
while
food.
sort of the crowd is like, so the three of you sort of walk in as you're sort of walking. I don't know what you and Kingdon are doing. Are you following Babbage to the back?
Shall we head backstage?
Yes.
So as the three of you, so
Actually, I want to go around this
as
way.
Babbage is going around back, and the two of you sort of follow slowly, you see Bellarmine just sort of walk out, almost as if he owns the place. You see him just speak some words. Well, that's not distinct. It's verbal and somatic. So he speaks some words, moves his hands a bit, and then all of a sudden you just see like platters of food appear around the edge, and the crowd was. I mean, that's typical like pre-play crowd kind of noise of like people just having conversation. Just suddenly goes quiet for a second. And then they go, ooh! And as you're walking away at Bellarmine, the crowd does start to clap.
Now I hide in the back and I throw the chains around my neck. Now,
Okay.
how soon do I before I come out? Because I need to prepare a costume.
I mean, the performance hasn't started yet, so
So I throw the chains around my neck
okay.
and I cast continuous flame on myself.
Springs forth from an object that you touch. Let's just say it's
the
your
chains. The chains.
The chains. Perfect. The effects look like a regular flame, but it creates no heat and doesn't use oxygen. A continual flame can be covered and hidden until dispelled. Fantastic. Okay. You have. I'm going to assume he has ruby dust on him. I'm just going to let that go.
Okay.
We're having fun here. We're going to let that go.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
What'd you say?
Sorry, sometimes I just gotta relax.
What did you say?
No, everything's fine.
Don't worry about it. So, okay, you now have. It doesn't create any hidden but not smothered quench. The effect looks like a regular flame, but it creates no heat. All right, so it does. Oh, okay, light brightness of a torch. All right, so there is light emanating from the back of the space now. Okay. So, just to set the stage here a little bit better. So now you have the backdrop of a scene here. You've got these curtains that are sort of giving you some privacy in the back, or at least so people can't see. You did notice as you were walking in, there is there's a small orchestra sort of set up front here, with like a violin and a bassoon and a flute and a tuba.
And a singing spade.
No spade. Oh, no, actually, you all did return that, didn't you? Light. So once you're all settled, you see Dolan, Lyco, and Grimbeard. Tags seems to be doing some last-minute touches to a different piece of like stage material that's on different one of the other different placards, or I guess backdrops, if you will, in the back here. And then you have, give me a second. So Lyco walks up to, I guess all three of you are back there at this point.
Sorry, something I wanted to check.
Okay.
Is there any sort of fly space, scaffolding, any way to get height backstage? Ladder, stairs.
No. You have these pillars that are about 10 feet tall.
Right, but like back on the back wall, this arch, like, is there a way to scramble up to the top of it? And how high is it?
The arch itself is about 10 feet tall. It's not very. It just sort of like. It just sticks out a little bit because it's just providing support to the inside, but there's no like. There's no structure to climb up and around it, no.
And then is this back wall like a cliff face?
Yeah.
How tall is that?
40 feet.
Cool. All right, that'll do.
Okay. Okay, so at this point, Dolan sort of walks out and is like, "Which one of you gets to be the ghost of Giving Day present?" Walks up to you. There's Zach and is like, "Ah, very good. I will be playing the role of Hob Crackett. So you'll be the ones. Just, I'm sure you'll put on a good show. Good for you.
I believe so.
I have the most
Yeah.
I have the utmost confidence in you." And he kind of goes over and pats Grimbeard on the head. And I don't know which one of you has a higher passive perception, but you notice that Grimbeard's like script says Teeny Tom.
That's great.
Let's see. And then Lyco introduces himself as Ned. So, okay. With that, you hear sort of music start to you hear like a violin string like sort of like set the tone, and then from there you hear some rather festive opening music. You can see out on the stage that Dr. Him, while conducting, like walks himself back up onto the stage and says, "Good afternoon, fellow citizens of Harm's Way. Welcome to yet another wonderful rendition of what did I call this? A Curmudgeon's Chronicle. As is our tradition, the newest of our folks here living among the town will be participating in our roles of the play. I look forward, as I'm sure all of you, to their individual interpretations of this classic, wonderful tale, with music sort of flowing and and like as he's conducting, like little notes of like different colors are popping off the end of his little conductor's baton, wand, whatever that thing's called. And with that, he gives a bow. The crowd applauds. The music kind of dies down a bit. And at this point, you see him. He does like a spin, and like it's as if he manifests clothes onto himself. Like he gets a top hat, he gets like long coattails, like a nice little
nice.
bow tie. Like he just casts
like a quick change.
Yeah, like a quick change, just like on the stage. And then he's sort of while he's doing this, Teg runs out and puts like a chair and a table down in front, and then Dolan walks out as Hob Crackett, and like sort of looks like he's doing paperwork. And the scene opens up with Gentle Him playing as Curmudgeon, sort of getting down on Dolan's character as Hob Crackett, excuse me. Sort of doing the opening scene of like, oh, Curmudgeon's a bad guy. Hob Crackett wants Giving Day off. He says no, yada yada yada. That whole thing goes about. So that scene plays out for about 5 minutes, as you all know. I'm not going to role play that whole thing. That's going to take too long. I'm not the star. I am not the star of this show. So with that, Dolan leaves as he goes home because he knows he's got to work tomorrow. And then with that, Gentle Him sort of almost manifests his own like magical scene behind him, as if he's like walking down the street and sort of like humbugging at different people in the crowd as if they're actually members of the people that he sees in town. Teg sort of swatches out one of the scenes from like the shop to basically being in Curmudgeon's bedroom. He does another like he like walks behind one of the pillars and comes back around and he's in the nightgown with like the big white hat with like the flowy thing on top of it. Teg sort of swaps while he's doing that. Teg swaps out the table with like a very simple, almost like it's like a table with a cloth over it that's a makeshift bed for the scene. And with that, Curmudgeon sort of just lies down and is like, oh, just another day of being evil and annoying and bad and what have you, but much more performative. And with that, there's a pause. Silence continues.
And then you hear this.
Gentle Him just sort of like shimmies around in bed.
I nudge you. Yo, I think you're up.
All right.
Isn't the first one barley.
To which Teg,
the three of us have no idea that you're playing.
to which Teg like cutting over says like, yes, if you're barley, you're up. Go.
I forgot about that part.
You hear like a cough in the crowd. So as you're moving out from behind the basement, like the light from your chains starts shining out through the curtains and around, and you come around the stage, and and as soon as you walk out with like the chains glowing, you get the crowd is like, ooh.
And the chains are actually dragging on the floor,
Perfect.
making a horrible noise. The flames are flying off of them. And where's Curmudgeon?
Right here in the center of the stage. He's pretending he is still pretending he's trying to go to sleep still.
So I come up behind him and go.
Gentle Him rolls out of bed, absolutely spooked, and you get a sense that he's genuinely scared for a half second. He's like, Mr. Jack Barley, my old business partner. What happened to you?
Such a nasty guy you are.
But we were partners in the life in life, sir. What could you mean?
But you learn nothing. You have to be more kind. You have to be more generous. You have to learn as I did, because look where I ended up. Where is the place of flames?
No, certainly that cannot be my fate. No, that must not be my fate, Jack Barley. What must I do?
No, your fate will be worse. You'll be there forever. I'll be there as long as I get through this scene.
He can't help but smirk at that. There's a bit of that makes the crowd chuckle a bit.
Breaking that fourth wall, love it.
So he's like, him recomposes himself. But what could I possibly do to learn these such lessons that you have so clearly had to learn the hard way, Mr. Barley?
You're about to see some pretty nasty ghosts. And they will be making a lot more noise than the chains that I've been dragging.
More ghosts? Must I, Mr. Barley? Do I have to? Oh.
Yep, you'll be awoke most of the night.
That's unfortunate. I have to work tomorrow.
And you won't be a happy camper, I guarantee it.
I'm not one to camp much. That's why I'm rich. I don't like camping.
You have lessons to learn, and if you don't learn those lessons, you will suffer the same fate for all eternity.
No! And with that, you like see him do like a flourish, and like this like dramatic music plays from the band to like sort of signal the scene ending. Just be like dun dun dun.
I move away, but then I'm going to cast something.
Okay.
It's called where is it?
If you remember what it's called, that's good enough.
Yeah, it's a create water.
Okay.
And so I'm going to create water over the top of myself to put out the flames. And then move off and hide off the corner.
Okay. That's 10 gallons of water, right?
No, it can be rain. It can be like rain.
It's up to, I think.
Okay, so he quenches in. All right, so you see, like, he goes behind the stage. You see the light just goes out and, like, steam emanates from above the curtains, and everybody's just like,
Exactly.
ah! And you get a bunch of crowd. All right, so with that, you hear Curmudgeon Dr. Him sort of like, what could these three ghosts possibly be? Oh, goodness gracious, my. I guess I'll try to just.
Can I go out and sit in the audience and watch the rest?
You can. I'm not. You can do whatever you want.
Okay. I'm out in the audience.
He goes back in the audience.
I'm hiding behind a group of people with still steam coming off.
If you like the two nearest you notice you, and you're like, "That was really good. Well done. The flames were a nice touch." So with that, he Curmudgeon tries to go back to sleep, being like, "What could these three ghosts possibly be? Oh my! I'll try to see if I can't sleep tonight. I'm sure I can't possibly be visited by 3 more ghosts." Ooh.
So, I am going to cast Tensor's floating disc.
Okay.
I'm going to hop on top of Tensor's floating disc. I'm going to put
How
and
far
activate
above the ground is it?
3 feet, I think.
Okay. As you are hopping up, Paladin like scrambles onto your leg and like.
Wait, I'm bringing him with me. He's part
Okay.
of. He's an integral part of this.
Got it.
So he's also a little flowy, feathery, tassely thing. He's gonna hold the candle that I'm gonna now activate.
Okay.
I'm holding him up, so like I'm holding him and he's up in the air. And then while we're atop Tensor's floating disc, I'm gonna cast Gust of Wind behind me to push us forward like a sailboat onto the stage as I flutter in with feathers flowing behind me in the breeze
So.
to basically appear as a feathery, flowy angel floating in from backstage.
So you're 3 feet up. Okay, so if this was not your intent, this is what I'm imagining. You're moving onto the stage. The gust of wind knocks over the set, but you are there, just like as it comes, as the set gets knocked over. To which
Well,
point,
no. Sorry. So
Okay.
I can drop Gust of Wind at will.
right?
And since I'm now floating, there's no friction. So the impulse to get me moving, it doesn't need to keep going.
Ah, okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right, you don't want to
Because otherwise I would fly right off the stage.
go over the crowd.
Yeah, no. I'm just trying to create like a floaty levitating effect. I was gonna use the gap closer, but I don't have enough affect engines to also power it.
3 at the same time. Got it.
Yeah.
Very good. So yes, you come. Well, okay. So this is all silent, isn't it? You're not making any noise.
Well, so as I emerge from backstage, I then begin saying, in the most like high-pitched lady voice I can muster, because the only time I've ever seen this play, the role was played by a woman.
Very good.
So I come floating in and I'm like, Ebenezer Curmudgeon! Ebenezer Curmudgeon!
I look very confused at you.
Floating in from off. I was gonna do one more thing. I forgot.
Go ahead.
I also wanted to cast Blur on myself to give myself more of a ghostly apparition visage.
So with that, like the moment you're seen on the stage, like you break the plane of the backdrop, like you get like, oh, the crowd's very like, oh, that's pretty good. And one of them's like, one of the people next to Bellarmine's like, that's pretty good too. You guys are on top of this. Holy cow.
So then I then proceed to say, I am the ghost of Giving Day past.
What, Mr. What, like, small genuine fear in his eyes, because, like, you're actually floating, like, he's like, what do you have for me, ghost? What?
I must show you the folly of your ways, being the time behind. By the way, I only have a 10 charisma, so I'm attempting to do this really well, but I'm assuming my performance is either way overacted or poor. I'm not sure.
I mean, we're doing this for fun, but if you want to roll a performance just to see how your character's doing,
I'd like to know how I feel like it's going.
I mean, roll an advantage because you have this going on. All of the work with like the magic and the kit and the costuming. I mean, you've got a lot of build up here. So you're doing. I mean, you feel like you're doing a pretty decent job.
I'm nailing it.
Yeah, like you like just the amount of effort and. I mean, like, Paladin is, like, really, like, sort of just marching around the edge of the disc with the candle, sort of just doing circles around you.
I love it.
So you just have this halo of blue flame just orbiting around you while you float off the ground. That's the thing that gets Gentle Hand more than anything else, is the candle that's being held by a small robot.
Yeah, he wasn't really expecting a robot.
What?
So, all right, so yes. So you must accompany me you will be visited by 2 more spirits also after me. I forgot to mention, but that's happening.
What?
But first,
Where are we going, my mighty spirit?
not where, but when.
Oh.
Perhaps you will remember these visions.
Oh, with that,
So
he
I extend
go
my
ahead.
hand
Yep.
out to him and pull him, motion to pull him up onto the floating disc with me because it can carry 500 pounds.
He hesitantly takes your hand and steps up, and he's like, hmm. And with that, he does a hand signal, and dramatic music plays from the crowd, from the band, is some sort of transformative music, and he sort of looks to you and does his own little spin move. Well, no, he stays in his pajamas, but he sort of makes a magical flourish around you, which is sort of intended to distract, although really it doesn't work. Tag grabs the bedroom backstrap, swaps it out, and puts it out of you being outside. You look like you're outside of a school grounds when you were.
Do you recognize this place from your past?
And you have two people that kind of had actually run up stage before. You have basically 2 extras. And you recite what you see before you is a conversation between, I can't remember her name, but Curmudgeon, Elminster Curmudgeon as a younger version of himself, even though it's they basically they recruit some other tiefling, you can pretend.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't remember what his fiance's name was, but they act out that little scene. Where so but no, I love money more than I love you, however that actually plays out.
Yes, and that makes you very sad to think on these past things that you've neglected in your life, and wouldn't you love to go back and do it all over again, differently, as a nicer person? But you cannot!
You must learn your lessons! What, thank you, we're here though, spirit. Can we not change the past? No.
You cannot change the past, you can only learn from it. But as I mentioned, you will be visited by 2 more spirits who have more things to show you and lessons to teach.
Oh my! And does a flourish, and music switch. There's more of a musical change. Teg swaps out the backdrops again. You're back in the bedroom. With that, Teg
hang on. And now I cast on Babbage Banishment.
Oh man, I already had a thing for this. I didn't need your help.
Well,
then I won't.
You can resist it.
I am going to resist.
What
cancel that.
is? Hold on.
Well, you don't know that.
No.
You did what you did.
This happened. What is? Oh, dang it! What is his DC?
I'm sure it's higher than 15.
Sorry about that.
Well,
It's okay.
No. This is
roleplay, baby.
this is what happens when you don't coordinate with each other, and it's fantastic. Hold on. I'm gonna go into your character sheet there for a second, Bellarmine. I'm trying to figure out.
I think it's 17.
17. It is. All right. So, with as
mid-sentence,
as as Curmudgeon is going to goes to step off the plate, Babbage just warps into a ball and disappears along with the disc. Along with the disc and the candle and the affect engine, and all of a sudden him.
Well, hang on. Does the spell effect end?
I'd have to look.
Tensor's floating disc is not a concentration spell.
Okay.
Well, it is a concentration. Oh no, mine is a concentration.
Yours is a concentration spell.
Yeah, Tensor's floating disc just exists for an hour.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. So yeah. You will be visited by 2. And a small wormhole just exists, just appears in the middle of the ground, and Babbage is just gone. And him is spirit.
I don't think Paladin leaves.
No, Paladin's still there. Paladin,
Yep.
this whole time has just been sort of going around in a circle. At this, he drops the candle and is just like jumping up and down and like swiping at the middle of it, and like him just like I suppose the spirit has gone on its way. I'm concerned about how the next two spirits will be, and he sort of like carefully tries to figure out where the edge of this. I guess you could see the edge, but and like steps off of the disc, and then tries to push it. Like Teg comes out and like grabs the edge of the disc. I'm assuming you could just pull it. I don't know. It doesn't have any like resistance to where it is, does it? Or does the spell
Nope.
description? Okay.
Let's see.
So I have to
Hold
end the
500
spell.
pounds.
I have to end the spell before 1 minute, otherwise he's gone forever.
Well, I don't think that's if the target is native to a different plane. Let's see. Well, there. Oh.
The target remains
Okay.
until this
Yeah,
time.
otherwise, the target doesn't return. So yeah. Babbage just randomly finds himself in a pocket dimension all by himself. Like,
2 more spirits. Uh-oh.
And I don't want to lose him, so I stop concentrating.
All right, so I poof back onto Tensor's floating disc.
so you were gone for about, let's say, 10 seconds. But at this point, Tag has pulled the disc just enough. You reappear and fall 3 feet to the ground.
Poof, fall.
No. He has to reappear on the disc. It's the same place that he started, no matter where that is.
Right, but the
My
disc,
physical location is the same, but
Yeah,
the disc underneath
the
me has
disc
disappeared.
underneath him has moved. Because Tag,
no.
like, grabbed it and pulled it out to try to change scenes.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, like, Babbage is gone for 10 seconds, and then all of a sudden, whoop, appears, and then immediately falls 3 feet.
Oh,
Kind of stutter steps.
hang on, I need to determine whether I am shocked by this or if I can. The show must go on. So I'm gonna roll a disadvantaged Constitution save.
That's fair.
And the audience is on their
DC
feet
12.
clapping.
DC 12. You're shocked by this.
All right. Okay. So I'm not gonna do a good save. I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna flub. I'm gonna like pick myself back up. Feathers are flying literally everywhere.
Paladin is kind of just like happy you're there, and like
Paladin's like running up to me. The blue candle is casting weird shadows. Everyone's laughing at me.
No,
Um,
the audience is clapping and roaring because they think this is tremendous.
Well, that's up to the DM, but okay.
you're getting like mixed like oh what? It's a
I
mixture.
forgot to tell you that I had more to say.
Yeah, him and all of this is just like he was like starting to get back into bed, waiting for then all of a sudden you reappear like
I left
again.
without saying goodbye, so goodbye. And now I will cast Misty Step to disappear correctly backstage.
You this before it was like a vortex that then
Yeah.
reappeared, and now it's just like a poof.
Right. I wanted to poof, but not like that.
Like, oh wow, that was. These are some intense ghosts. He sort of looks out at the crowd, and everybody's just like, yes, they are. Can it only get more intense? I'm a little concerned. And at that, he sort of lies back down. And at that point, Teg's just sort of like looking around, like, all right, who's present? Who's present? Who's the present ghost?
That's me. I'm here.
Waves you on.
All right, so now since I'm not very magical,
That's right, I got it covered.
I will use Mage Hand to hold, because that's the only spell that I know.
Okay.
Well, one of the 2 spells that I know, to hold the torch, and I'm sure, would someone backstage have something to light that torch with? I imagine.
Dolan like whips out a flint and steel if you need it, and like gets it going.
Perfect, yeah. So then that's there. Now, instead of, floating and magicking out, I do, like, really cool katas and flips and, acrobatic moves and cartwheels and just really play it up and to get over to where bed is, and then kind of like backflip and land right in front of him with the torch kind of floating around my head.
Okay, so you have mage hand that you're moving at the same time as you're trying to do acrobatics to get to him. I need you to roll a performance and an acrobatics check.
I do. The mage hand would just kind of have to like be there and then kind of follow me over.
Sure, but I mean
I
you've got to
will...
mentally tell him to do that at the same time, so it's like.
All right, so which one was it?
Performance and acrobatics. Okay. All right, so you. So yeah, you managed to flip, twirl, spin, like backflip, what have you, to be like very suddenly land, but it seems slightly overdone because like as you land, like you're there, and then the torch shows up, like a half second later than you wanted. So it's just like a torch. You hello, Mr. Spirit with some boots. Hi.
So I make sure that my robe is kind of like hyped up enough so that you can really see the boots, kind of like
the
show them
boots
off a little bit.
seem to almost glow, like it's clearly obvious. Like everybody's kind of like trying to look around him and be like, "What is up with those? What?"
Hello there.
What do you have for me, Mr. Spirit? Will we be traveling through time again?
So, Mr. Curmudgeon, you're here with me now, and we're here today.
So we're gonna stay here? Is that the plan?
And I clap like that, and I kind of like signal to the stage hand, like
the crowd, you're taking basically you take the band gets the cue and they do like magical music and gentle hymn sort of like spins around, moves the bat out of the way. The backdrop switches to what looks to be like the backdrop switches and then it's like you're looking inside of a like there's a small like Teg also picks out like just like a window frame by itself and like puts it in front of you like as if you're looking through the window.
Looking through the window, right?
And then Lyco and Grimbeard come out, and let's see where. Oh, you're out here. Okay. So yeah, you see Lyco, like he's got like a small little plate in front of him, and he's got like a bowl. You see Grimbeard but Grimbeard has a leg actually missing. Like the metal leg that you'd seen him with is not there right now, and he's got like a little crutch on his other arm, like under his other arm, as he like hobbles over to the table, and you see Lyco being like, "Oh, teeny Tom."
It's like what's his name from The Hangover? He actually was missing that tooth, and they just had him take the implant out.
Oh.
Yeah, Ed Helms. Yeah, he just took the implant out. The implant crap.
Fantastic.
But yeah.
So yeah,
Curmudgeon, and I kind of grab the back of his head and like firmly press it up against the window. Against the window like this. Look and see. This is your man, Hob Crackett, and his son Teeny Tien. Tom.
You're getting some scattered giggles throughout the crowd. What are you trying to teach me, Mr. Ghost? They're not going so well.
Pull your head out the window. What?
Yes. But that's I did not realize that Mr. Hatchet's conditions were not so good, and poor Teeny Tom, he talks of him all the time. I did not know. I did not understand, Mr. Ghost. I did not understand.
Back against the window. Now look and see.
Yes, I understand. Teg at this point has snuck in and is holding up the window at this point because it has no support at all. It's literally just a freestanding window. So she's holding it up for you so that you can show his face for the effect, and you can see him. And I don't know if anybody backstage might be able to say him's giving her side eye what?
I take no notice, either intentionally or otherwise.
But yeah, no, like Grimbeard basically doesn't say a word. He's just sort of hobbling, sitting it there and like pretending to eat from a bowl of porridge and just kind of trying to not look as dour as he always does, and tries to be a little sad.
Right, so then I push his head back up against the window. He may survive, but Hob will need help. He needs your help.
I understand, Mr. Ghoster. Please stop tormenting me. Can we?
I pull his head away. All right. Perhaps we go see another scene.
Is there another scene in the story? I actually don't. I thought that was the only one. I don't remember.
He goes to see Ned's.
Oh, his. Yes, you're right. His
family,
his nephew. All right. So yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the nephew. They're like making fun of him.
Right. That's right. So yeah, at this point, Dolan sort of steps out with. How did I get? There we go. With two other extras. And yeah, it's the scene. That's right. Thank you for reminding me. It's the scene where they're saying like, they're poking fun at Curmudgeon and saying how he's such a Scrooge and yada yada yada. I mean, Dolan plays that scene sort of like very close to like very like flat. Like compared to all of the energy that all of you have been bringing to this, his performance is very just like, yes, that's Curmudgeon is not a good person. I wish he had done more. I wish he had done more.
Is there an intermission?
Say again?
Is there an intermission?
I'll let you judge that for yourself based on how this is going so far.
No, I'm just wondering because I had an idea.
Maybe, maybe not. Nothing. I mean, I don't. It's not like you have a program in front of you. So that scene plays out. I don't know if there's anything specific you want to say to him on that.
You see, they make fun of you. You have no one.
He's kind of like glad there isn't a glass in front of him at this point. You have a very. I am understanding that Ned's a good person. Do you have any other places and things to teach me, Ghost of Giving Day present?
No.
With that, he just kind of like, flourishes, transformative music, takes sort of like caught off guard, like runs up, sort of swatches out the backdrop.
You'll be visited by
Dolan
one.
Dolan kind of jogs off stage. Like, okay, we're done. Like very, very unexpectedly sudden transition. And then
I hike up my robe and I walk up the stage. Like nothing fancy. I just walk up the stage.
Just walk up. Just thank you, Ghost of Giving Day present. And there's a good amount of applause at that though. Like it's strong, not like it's good. It's good applause. And with that. Yeah, so that
you really need to work on your definition of jovial.
Oh goodness!
I play it as I see it.
So Curmudgeon at this point.
Phenomenal.
What? Oh goodness! What? I think I may know what the last ghost may be.
As he says that, I'm gonna come from right over here. And before I step onto the stage, I'm going to cast Disguise Self.
Okay.
So that everything that I have, all my props, all that, I want to make myself look just like him.
Interesting. Okay. You are a copy of him in his Curmudgeon like nightgown outfit.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I come out onto the stage, and I just stop and I look at him.
There's like a, what is it? Ooh! And there's a hush over the crowd. Like, ooh.
And I hope it's one of those Looney Tunes, he looks up, I look up, kind of.
Oh, you're trying to mirror him? I mean, he's lying in bed. So he was lying in bed, but like the moment that you show up and you're like an exact copy of him, he like He'll step out. All right, roll a Gosh, what would a mimicry be? Performance. Let's roll a performance.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna suggest.
Oh.
For a -1, that's pretty good. So for the most, I mean, there's a couple like you don't get like every single like hand motion and what have you, but like his larger, more macro movements, you're able to match pretty successfully. And he's like he picks up pretty quickly what you're doing, and he just sort of like slows down his movements a little bit, so you're able to like pick it up. And like there's the crowd has not been quieter. Like the whole crowd is sort of just silent at this point, just being like, ooh. And like he plays this up for about a good 20 seconds, and is like, "Are you? You look like present day me, Mr. Ghost. Are you?"
And as soon as he says that, let's see, that's not concentration. Okay. As soon as he says that, I'm going to speak with my normal voice, but still maintaining the disguise to say, excuse me, you are not you. You will see what you are about to become.
You are the ghost of Giving Day Future. How unsettling.
What you have done will pull you into the ground to rot with the worms and the bugs and the birds. And then, as soon as I say that, I'm going to cast Entangle underneath him. So. And then, these tendrils and come up and start restraining him. Say, you cannot escape your fate that you yourself put
Roots
into
come
motion.
like breaking through the ground of the stage, like cracking the tile. And
this is what we call practical effects.
Like him's like, ah! And it's like, and now the crowd.
In Yu's mind, if anyone's screaming at this, it's like, no, this is what druids do out in the middle of nowhere where there is no stage, and so they can just summon things, and it's, right?
It's perfect.
So, no, it's fantastic.
So then, as he's being restrained and everything.
Yep.
Let's see, what's I gonna do? I'm gonna cast Thorn Whip on him.
Damage.
Love it.
I probably should roll damage or roll an attack, right?
I mean, he's restrained, so you have advantage. But yeah, you gotta pull this guy's character sheet out. Hold on.
Well, if I'm gonna kill him, I don't want to. It's 2d6. That's the damage.
He's fine.
He's just murdering.
That would be the hell of a way to end the story. You will never learn. Just kill him.
You cannot escape your fate, and you cannot escape what you will see. At this point, I'm sure his screams are quite real, even if it looks like it's pageantry.
Okay, hold on. I was pulling up his character sheet. So the 26 clearly hits. All right, how much damage did you do to this guy? 5.
Oh,
Right.
okay, good.
Yeah, no, like so you've entangled and you wrap the whip around him. Are you pulling him, or are you just letting the whip stay there?
Pulling myself to him on the stage. So, obviously I can't pull him. I'm not strong enough to pull him out of the vines, most likely. And I'm not trying to do that anyway. And then I pull real close and get very close. Let's see. Keyboard.
So yeah, he's like, I mean, you've got the whole crowd almost like some of the crowd are like standing up at this point because like again, roots through the stage, tiles ripped apart, he's held down, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, wrapping around his body.
I'll disengage the Thorn Whip and dismiss the Entangle.
Okay.
but now I know, like, I have his full attention. He's not going anywhere.
Yes.
Then I'm gonna
Accurate.
cast find familiar, and use that to summon. Even though it's only one, maybe a little DM fiat. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna use it to create a vulture, just kind of this ethereal, deathly
I'm fairly
carrion
confident the
bird.
casting time for that is long, but I'm going to assume that you knew what you were doing ahead of time.
That is an hour.
I'm
isn't
gonna
it?
I'm gonna assume
Yeah.
that you had planned this out ahead of time, and that your owl has just turned into a vulture and can have it just so it's been flying overhead and no one's noticed.
Yes. Well, thank you. We'll go with that. So I point up to the bird and I say, "The birds of prey. They feed on decay. Do you wish to know what you have sown in this world?"
I kind of already have a sense of it as he looks at like the blood coming out of his chest. Like,
Oh, and then
what
noticing
more
that
do you
there's a
have
real wound, I'm gonna try to discreetly use healing word to like tap and heal him right on
He
the
was a
chest.
method actor.
Well, I mean,
He's
you
like
could.
Jared Leto. Instead of people rat.
Ah, so he's back. He's healed.
All right. I mean, healing word you can do from a distance, so like you can make that as a flourish that's done from like far. So you like, so yeah, like all right. So the wounds patch up over him. It's like, just what? Other lessons do you have for me, spirit? And are they as painful?
And so as he says that, I will begin to show him. Yeah, I don't have any.
Because you're still his
illusion
copy. You're still his
spells.
copy, right? You still have disguise stealth up.
Copy.
You're still your disguise self
disguised
is still.
as
Oh, yeah. Thank you. So as he says that, I will then dismiss my
The
image of
disguise.
exactly. I'll
Okay.
get rid of disguise self. Show him my true form. And
So at that, he like so he's on the ground at this point. The bed's been knocked off the stage. He's like crawling away from you because you went from being like his height to like growing to 7 feet tall with the disguise self on, with another 2 feet of net fish.
which way is he crawling?
Backward, like he's crawling this way.
Ping it on the map. Okay.
He's
Perfect.
there.
So as he gets
he's moved
close,
5 feet away from you. So like
so as he gets over here, I'm gonna cast Erupting Earth behind him, so he's penned in and he can't escape.
hold on. How big is that?
Fairly large. 20-foot cube.
Oh, okay.
3d 12 damage.
Choose a point you can see in the ground. A fountain of churned earth and stone erupt in a 20-foot cube centered on the point. Okay.
I think if he's right there, where you have him right now, and the nearest audience member is here, I think I can fit it in without actually
So you're putting it there.
hurting anyone. Yes.
Okay.
Again, because you has no concept that those down in the pit have the best seats and need to see the performance. So
Okay. So just to get, I want to make sure I understand the picture here. You have entangled him. You've thorned him. You've then grown in size and turned into this 7-foot tall thing with 4 feet of canvas attached to your face, with fishnets behind you, the bones and the white powder.
And the
He's backed
coffin.
up.
And a coffin.
And the coffin.
Fake
And a
skull.
skull.
Yeah.
Like you've morphed into this ginormous thing, and he's backing up. There is genuine fear in this man's eyes. And then the ground behind him just shrieks. The whole front of the stage is just shattered into pieces. There were a couple of like chairs here at the front edge of like where the band was that get knocked aside, and like the whole band just like gets up. Like half the crowd, there's a mixture of applause, there's just nervous laughter. Some people are just like, oh my gosh.
and you's not done yet. You's just getting started here. So
The whole crowd's just kind of going nuts. You hear Cuddles, the owl bear, just sort of like rearing back at one point through the mass of chaos that is this stage right now, and we haven't even transported in time yet.
I love this.
So yeah, like him rolls to the side, like he's genuinely trying to stay away from you at this point. Like, what are we?
and then I reach down with a big paw. I suppose I take the skull and I don't know, tuck it in the arm that has the coffin somehow, so I can reach out a paw and say,
stick it in the coffin.
yeah, like in the armpit of
Okay.
the arm that's holding the coffin.
Yep. All right.
Right, temporarily to hand a paw so that he can pick himself up, and
So you're helping him up at this point.
I'm helping him up. I want him to see. Yeah.
Okay, you reach your massive, deathly paw. It's like there's a genuine moment where he looks confused, but you have a very friendly demeanor, so he's just sort of like. Little bits of earth and dust are still like landing on his face.
Perfect.
From like the just like. And he like slowly takes your paw as you lift him up, and he like kind of looks around. He's genuinely sort of in shock at the stage at this point. He's like, can we have slightly less destructive lessons, Mr. Ghost of Giving Day Future? Please?
Oh, the word. What is the word? Yes, the irony is palpable.
Do you have somewhere to take me? We can get this over with.
Yes, come and see what you will show you.
That he tries to do a flourish. Like half the band is in disarray, so you only get like the percussion section and like a bassoon and one viola is trying to do the transformation music at this point, because the rest of them are still recovering from the massive dirt and ground that threw up. Tag like desperately switches like faster than the other transitions so far, switches out the scene so that now you're like behind, like you're clearly in a graveyard, essentially. And she like pulls out a different coffin from a different section and like plops it down in front of the graveyard, so there's an actual like coffin in front of you. And your scene is set.
Okay.
Hold on.
So I look at him, and with a big furry paw, like the ticking of a clock.
Yeah, you got a small coffin there. Where are you putting that hand?
I'm pointing down, like across his face, and then pointing down to the coffin.
His.
Oh, so the coffin. Yeah, the coffin's over here, right?
The yellow square is the coffin. Yeah.
The yellow square. Okay. Yeah, I'll put an arm sort of around him and walk him over to the coffin. Okay. You have seen past and present. Now you will see future.
This is the future you have for me. And he whispers this like myself and the character.
This is the future you have for you. The future you have caused.
Please, no spirit of the future. Please, let it not be this. Let it not be this future. I'll do anything. I will do anything. Please.
And I point in there, and I wanna show him. Sorry, I didn't so hold on. I want to point into the coffin, and here's. Well, I guess it doesn't matter if he. Okay, I wanted to show him the body of Tiny Tim or Teeny Tom. Thank you. But obviously, I don't actually need a body since it's on stage and no one else does. So what Yu's going to show him is. Let's see. I'm going to use conjure animals, and
okay,
a little bit of DM fiat. I'm going for instead of 8 beasts of challenge rating 1/4 or lower, I just want to make a whole mass of maggots and worms and creepy crawlies in the coffin. And I can point down to the coffin and say, Teeny Tom, you know, and you know, you did not feed Teeny Tom the little that he needed. This is what became of Teeny Tom. This is you. And then the vulture will kind of fly in for dramatic effect and fly back out. Ooh, perfect.
Fantastic.
Swarm of insects.
So there's a bunch of fey maggots like swimming around inside the stage?
No. These are actual maggots. Oh, these are fey spirits, aren't they?
Yeah, fey spirits that take the form of. Which is better. They're like ethereal maggots.
Yeah, that works.
So just like
so writhing and wriggling.
Yeah. So yeah.
And then even though no one in this game world would understand the reference, you looks at him and says, "Do you wish to know more?" And then stomps and squashes on a few of them.
That's a great joke. Do your part.
Really good, Bug.
That's a separate one. That's a different one shot for another time.
I'm looking at some spells that I've never used, so forgive me for a second. No, I'm not going to use Augury. I'm going to cast in the hills. I'm going to cast Summon Beast to make a few wolves, and I just want them howling for effect somewhere, like off camera, out of sight, up here somewhere.
What's the range on that? Oh, conjure animals. 60 feet.
Summon Beast is 90 feet.
Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah. So he's like the fact that there's actual maggots like swimming around and they're glowing, and he's kind of like looking at you, looking at the stage.
They disappear the moment that I conjure the wolves.
Okay, so so he take you do the maggots. Talk to him about Teeny Tom. He's like kind of looking at you, looking at the stage, looking back at the crowd who's still recovering a bit. And then the maggots just disappear, and he just kind of looks confused for a second, looks back at you, kind of like expecting something, and then you hear the howl from above, and everybody kind of looks up like, whoa. It's like, whoa.
And then with that, is there any way to get on stage any kind of representation of Ned?
What?
I mean, you're gonna have to come up with something.
Of what?
The character's backstage, but beyond that, I mean, I don't know how you intend to do this.
The character named Ned, Dad, is what he's talking about.
No, scratch that. At this point, I'll cast Create Water above him and have it start raining down upon him, and then you will turn to him and say, You rained on Ned's parade, and now it will rain upon you in the underworld for all eternity.
So, him, who's almost given up being curmudgeon at this point, he's just like soaked now, like, what? But this, like, trying to like desperately get himself back into character. This is my future. This can all be changed. Yes, I can prevent this. We can make this better and more dry.
Dry? There's no dry. There's no comfort. Look at what you have caused.
Yeah. Yes, I've learned my lesson, Mr. Very, very talkative ghost of present day future, or giving day future. I have learned my lesson. I will be good. I will make sure we will prevent this. We will prevent this.
You have created extremes for those around you, and you must understand what this does.
Under his breath, he's like, "You're one to talk." Please say we're done. Please.
Dry? I'm gonna pull him by the scruff of the neck back to right here.
Okay. You do that?
And then I'm gonna kind of like bear hug him very kind of close in, and then I'm gonna cast.
Which, with all the bones and things you have in your fur, is like poking into him in all different kinds of places. You have to watch out for his horns when you do that.
Yeah, I promise you he's gonna want to hang close for this, because what I'm about to do.
Go on.
He says dry, and as the ghost of Giving Day future, I'm saying, the only heat and warmth for you will come like this. And I'm gonna...
What?
I want to make a whole ring sphere of fire around us. So he's not actually getting damaged by it, because neither of us are in it, but I don't want it touching anyone else.
Okay, so it's like here?
Yeah.
Okay. Jeez. There's him at this point is genuinely just.
No one can see the stage anymore because the walls are opaque.
It's a freaking 20-foot fall. It's a 20-foot high flame.
Yeah. The screams. This is exactly what you is going for. He wants this,
Like
screams means it's working.
Half the crowd
you
is.
Hear this?
It's a
you
combination.
Hear this?
And
this is what you have caused.
Go, I told you.
Sorry, that came across as broken, Deacon. What was that?
I said, off in the distance, you hear Barley say, I told you.
I mean, at this point, the roaring flames kind of negate all lines and sound at this point. It's just an inferno that is existing in a 20-foot ring, 20-foot tall ring around these two. They're just disappeared in the middle. At this point, him's like, knock it off! Too much! You've overdone it! I get it! End the show!
And the flames disappear. And then you holds the coffin and has the skull in his other hand. And you says, your fate, you are here. And he just sets the coffin down on the ground. Part of it breaks since it got termite damage down at the feet.
It's like two coffins.
And then takes the skull and throws it in there so it rattles around a bit. And then the vulture comes and nests inside the coffin, and it's
Him doesn't really look like he's paying much attention at this point. The dude's just kind of still in shock, as is half of the crowd. It's just like, what? You get a few like, woo, and a couple, and more people that are like, is he okay? Like what?
Yeah,
it's supposed to happen.
Like, was that...
Admittedly, they wanted a theatrical performance and they got Ragnarok. So
yeah, him's almost like physically defeated at this point. He's like, I get it. I'm good. Thank you.
And then, so you will then. Actually, I want to. No, because I need to be serious and austere. You's then going to crouch down very slowly and gracefully, pull the skull back out of the audience, and then ignoring him on stage, he's going to turn and hold the skull off to the whole audience to say, "You see what you will become. You are the summation of your actions now. All of you.
It's turning into an
And just kind
environmental.
of glares out into the audience and then starts to saunter back off stage and just. That's it.
Again,
Only you can prevent forest fire.
again, like 7.5 foot tall dude, square canvas for a face. White powder. Like fishnets this whole time. That's what's been doing all of this crazy stuff. And then he just saunters off stage and he's just like, alright, I'm good.
Yeah, we're done.
Well, that's what That's what Death would do. Death would not collect your. Wouldn't sit there and mope over you. He'd be like, "All right, you saw what you needed to see. I'm off to the next one."
So good.
So him, there's kind of a silence on the stage at this point, as him just like surveys the damage of the amphitheater. So we're like, and he like looks up and sees the people in the crowd and like it's almost like he takes a moment to remember where he is and like what he's doing. It's like, oh, yes, I must go forth and be good, because I never want any of that to happen ever again. And that Tag like swaps out the stage for like the town, and like Dolan and Lyco at this point come out and like kind of half-heartedly get through the scene where he's like, everything's good, I buy you a giant ham and we're all gonna have dinner together. But like there's just no even anywhere. He tries to do some like small magical flourishes as he's walking to like have some hip in his step, but it's just he's just not in him anymore. Like he gets
He's
through.
not having
They
it.
get through at the end. Like they like they're just done. So like he gets to the end of the show. Some people are still in shock. The three of them like. So like it's clearly the end. Like most of the instruments at this point have regathered themselves and like they play like off of the ending show. Him, Lyco, and Dolan and Grim all come out on stage and bow. And at this point, him like steps like and the three of them head off stage. Oops, didn't mean to grab that one, but that's fine. The ground that's destroyed. It goes off the side, so it's not safe to walk off the front. And then him steps off to the side and like motions all of you to come forward. He just bowed. Like he just bowed to the stage, and he motions all of you to come forward and do the same thing.
And then wait, hang on.
Yep.
I'm going to cast Light and Spirit Guardians.
Are you making anybody hostile?
Nope, they're friendly. They're just
Okay.
little angels dancing around. I don't know where the heck Light went.
So you're just okay, but like centered on you. You've just like so you're beaming, and now you have celestial angels around you. Okay. He like takes your hands, sort of motions you all to like, assuming. Well, did everybody go out on stage? I guess that's the better question.
I floated out on the
Yeah.
disc. I'm in character.
I
Taking my bow.
backflipped over.
All right. So you all make your entrances. Babbage still isn't. Babbage, even though he's 3 feet up off the ground on a disc, I don't think is still as tall as you.
No, I'd be like 6 something.
Especially, yeah, like, so you're not even as tall as him, and you still has 2 feet of canvas above his head. So the three of you sort of, like, you managed to all, like, land the thing successfully. He motions all of you to hold hands, and sort of motions you all to take a bow. I don't know if all 4 of you actually do or not, or come up with something else you do instead.
No, I'd take a bow. I've seen plays before.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a yes from Babbage, and
What about?
you bow. Okay. Bellarmine.
I've cast Light and Spirit Guardians. That's good enough.
Okay. He just kind of
He just
stands and
stands there.
it's like spell.
The Spirit Guardian Angels are taking bows.
And then you? I'm scared to ask.
When it comes turn to bow, you will just look around and kind of evil eye everyone, and then take the fake skull and say, in a random moment of divine inspiration, no idea what these two words actually mean, himself, memento mori, he throws the skull down onto the stage and it shatters into 1,000 pieces.
And you get like at that everybody's clapping, everybody's making raucous applause. There's all kinds of cheering. It's just like, wow, yay, that was amazing, oh, wow, and like so they're like standing and like clapping for a good couple minutes. Like they're very like that was amazing. That was wonderful. Very happy with you. Him walks off the stage and sort of also claps. All the band is like other instruments down, clapping. There's somehow roses appear at the stage in front of you. Some of them get caught up in the tangled brushes and the thrown ground and what have you. It's somewhat hazardous out in front of the stage now. But yeah, and then basically everybody comes up to each one of you, assuming you were up to this. Like, him has everybody sort of like make a procession line to come up and like shake every one of your hands. I don't know if any of you are okay with this or how you respond.
Well, while that's happening, I'm showering
Bellarmine
you with praises because I think Yu's performance was inspired.
Bellarmine just walks away. He's like, I'm good. Walks out.
I am receiving the handshakes just fine.
Okay. Where's okay?
Oh wait, Paladin's in one of my hands. Like we're bowing together.
Okay, I was gonna say he, without any other instruction, he basically picked the candle back up and continued to walk around in a circle in you, even when you were backstage. But at this point, yeah, no, he would bow with you.
Backstage. Nice.
So yeah, so they all, yeah, so everybody comes by, shakes your hands. Wonderful performance. Everybody's super happy. Everybody's tummies are full. There were laughter. There was tears. There was joy. There was sadness. There was a lot of shock.
There was genuine fear.
Genuine fear at times. And overall, yeah, no, him and both Dylan at this point are like, yeah, no, you two are set, or you four are set for life. We're good. We don't need any more of these performances. We're all
I feel
set.
like Yu's performance was like in Willy Wonka when they go through the tunnel and it starts to get really kind of creepy and everything. And we're just like, ah!
There's no other we are going.
All right. With that, we will end it for the evening.
And I never get to use my feign death. Oh well.
Next time, I'm sure you'll find use for it at some point. All right, with that wonderful performance by each one of you, as respective goes, very well done. As a DM, I have to say, you all get inspiration if you didn't have it already. You can add it to your character sheets for that. That was very well done.
Thank you.
And with that, we will call it a night. That was a good one. That was one for the ages.
That was a blast, Mike. Nice,
night, Internet.
nice.
Well done. That was a very good idea.
Thank you.
Good night,
Thank you.
good night.
I had no idea what was coming. Had no idea.
It's all good.